Influencers are one of the biggest impactors who influence us on what to buy, on what tokens to watch, on basically what to do generally in crypto. And I want to see if you could follow these influencers blindly, if you can see what coins they recommend, invest in them blindly, and see if you are still making money. So today we'll be grabbing a few of these influencers, getting into their coins and seeing how much profit we either make or how much money we are going to lose. So for this challenge, we have a few rules. Basically, we will be taking one influencer from one platform. This means that we have 3 platforms in total. We have YouTube, we have Twitter or X, and we have TikTok. So from all of these platforms, we're going to be grabbing one creator and we're going to be grabbing one coin that they are shilling and seeing if by investing into it, we can make a profit or lose our money just by following them blindly. We won't be doing any research. We won't be reading any price entry levels or exit levels. We'll just be holding a coin for 7 days exactly. That means 1 week, and see how things go. So make sure you watch this video in full because we'll be disclosing all of our profits at the end of the video, and the results will probably shock you. So I thought that creating this video would be much more simple, but as you know, there's not a lot of coins that these big crypto influencers are shilling, which are not such safe option. I don't want to get into BNB, Solana, Bitcoin, basically those top 10 cryptocurrencies, because regardless of what influencer you're going to be looking at, all of them, of course, are going to be talking about it because they're mainstream. Everybody knows about them. And I do want to see if the coins that these influencers are shilling, which are below, $1 billion market cap, could actually turn out to be profitable, and see if we could actually make some money off of these coins, or are we just being retarded? So with the first pick, as we can see right here, I found this podcast right here of Altcoin Daily collaborating with Cryptos R Us. So you probably know this YouTuber. If you have been into YouTube crypto, right, you have probably seen him pop up, and basically his name is George. What is happening right here is basically he owns a YouTube channel with over 800,000 subscribers right here with over 3K videos. Basically he's posting content almost daily, right, of Bitcoin analysis, why Bitcoin is dropping, why Bitcoin is selling, and all of these crypto related news. And now he has a second channel, which is called I Am George, where he basically uploads his Clash Royale tournaments, right? So basically these are tournaments where he streams, and anybody can participate and win money off of these tournaments, right, by playing a simple video game. So what is this project? Well, he recently has just launched a project called George Plays Clash Royale. Basically his son recommended him the game. He went ahead and he liked the game. Then he discovered that a new pump fund feature, which is called live streaming pump fund, where you can basically stream on the pump.fund app, and basically by streaming, the more, of course, sellers or buyers you get a cut of the trading fees, which basically accumulate towards the rewards you receive. So basically he streams on pump.fund, gathers the rewards, and then gets those rewards out on the, of course, Clash Royale tournaments, as you can see right here on his channel right here. This is very, very interesting. He has talked about this coin a lot on his Crypto R Us channel, right? So basically the exposure is massive. Over 800,000 people are seeing this. As you can see right here, the current market cap for this token is $28 million, and we'll be buying in right now. Then we'll be coming back in a week and seeing what are our results right here on this coin. Moving on to the X called Twitter. If you have been in the X crypto space, I'm sure you have seen Altcoin Gordon before, or at least heard of him. He's a famous influencer shiller. Basically what he has done right here today, a few hours ago, as you can see, he tweeted out "Sol bullish degen." So this is a complete shill, but the, of course, can't disclose it, right? He's not disclosing anything, but this is a very complete and obvious promotion. Just had a very interesting conversation with some of my friends who are extremely high up in the gold industry. They said the demand for gold peaked, and that's a lot of wealthy gold investors are now looking to rotate their profits into bullish. I mean, that's complete bullshit, right? Of course, they won't rotate their fucking profits into some bullish meme coin. I mean, this is an obvious shield, but let's take a look at it, because of course this is our challenge. This is what we set out to do. So right now it's currently sitting at $7.5 million in market cap. As you can see, we had a massive pump candle right here. I mean, if we're honestly talking about this looks like it's going to be a big farm, and I'm going to be getting rugged very, very soon. But this is the point of the challenge. We will be listening to Altcoin Gordon, and we'll be trusting his word on investing into bullish right now. Okay, so we will be buying in at around $5 million in market cap, and we'll see how our investment is going to be growing from there. Now, lastly, TikTok. Of course, it's very difficult to find someone who is not shilling a complete shitcoin right here. So we actually have the market insights shilling Edu as the second pair. It's actually a solid coin where students and educators meet on a crypto platform called Open Campus. Basically, it's a layer blockchain which connects all the teachers, all the investors, and crypto calls, collaborate, learn something, and basically have this very nice infrastructure where everyone can connect. I mean, their chart looks horrendous, completely horrendous. They have completely died off, but we can see that we had a little pump right here over the 7 days from 9 cents to 18 cents. So we did have a 100% increase. So maybe this will come back somehow from the dead. I don't think so because the chart looks completely dead. But of course, me being a complete idiot and listening to the market insights and trusting his word on this crypto coin to outperform the whole crypto market, I'm trusting his word and investing at $110 million in market cap into Open Campus Edu right now as of this moment. Now, one more thing that I want to mention is that, of course, all of these influencers are not really shilling a lot of shitcoins because their reputation would be completely destroyed, right? These are just a few things that I found, few pairs that are actually being shilled by some established influencers, right? But since we weren't also looking at those obvious top 10 crypto pairs like Bitcoin, Solana, BNB, right? Since there are billions already in market cap and we won't be able to see much upside in 7 days. So I do also want to showcase you guys what happens if you would invest into some most shilled coins which I have found who are already established pretty much. Such coin like Aster, every call on Twitter is talking about it. Everyone is going crazy about Aster, and of course over the span of 7 days we won't see any massive returns, but of course I do want to see how this will be performing since of course every influencer right now on Twitter is shilling Aster. So we will also be buying Aster at around $2.43 billion in market cap and seeing how this will be performing. We will also be investing into Pepe because everybody is shilling Pepe, whether that's on X or on YouTube. All the influencers who are related to meme coins are telling that Pepe is going to be going parabolic, and of course I'm trusting everybody's word on it, and I'm definitely putting my money towards where their mouth is. So we will also be buying Pepe at around this price. And lastly, we will also be investing into Ethereum, but I know that I just said that the upside to these coins who are already billions in market cap is low, but everybody is shilling Ethereum. So the top picks that I could find who are most shilled by is definitely Ethereum, Bitcoin, but I didn't want to go with Bitcoin since Ethereum has a bit more upside. So Ethereum, Pepe, and Aster, these are the 3 pairs that I found who are the most shilled by on all of these platforms. So let's see if we can trust all of these influencers and make some money by investing into these pairs. So I'll be seeing you guys in 7 days. So we are back with the results, and I must tell you that this is definitely not what I expect. As you can see right here on our first coin, George plays Clash Royale, I have mapped out our buy zones, our sell zones, and our all-time high during the 7-day range, as you can see right here. So we entered right here at around $28 million in market cap. As you can see, the price ran up quite a bit. As you can see right here, if we run up from this low to this all-time high, of course, it's not realistic that you would solve here. So we are keeping our expectations realistic. I have marked the red zone of our 7-day price range. So this is where we would usually sell our positions, or this is where we agree to sell our positions, right? So at this right here, but if we do have a crystal ball and knew that this price would have peaked, we would have made over 170% gains on our investment. So this is definitely something that I have not expected, but this is not all. If we move on to our second coin, bullish, as you can see right here, we did see a lot of consolidation right here during this, so not a lot of price movement. At some point we were even at a loss on our investment, but ultimately at the 7-day price peak we can see that we made nearly 60%, just a bit over, and on our 7-day close we can see that we have made a bit less. I will showcase you guys all of the percentages in an Excel sheet that I have made, so stay tuned for that. But as you can see also, we have ran up the price quite a bit after these 7 days. So we weren't looking at much profit during the 7 days price range, but right after you can see that we literally broke the all-time high and our investment at this point has nearly doubled. Moving on to Open Campus Edu, the last coin that we took from TikTok, right? As you can see, we would have actually lost money right here if we would have closed out on our trade right here after the 7 day range. But right after we would have closed the trade out, as you can see, the price literally ran up over 30%. Now, I do have to say that I'm recording this video a few days later rather than I should have, because as you can see, it's October 27th right here, and our 7 day close range is ending at 25th. So this price should relatively stay irrelevant, but of course I need to showcase it to you guys. So on these free coins that we took, this one from YouTube, this one from Twitter, and this one from TikTok, we were looking at 2 wins and 1 loss. I mean, this loss is a very small loss if we would have closed at this range, but of course it's a loss if you would have sold here, regardless that the price ran up. So in total for these free coins, we have 1 loss and 2 big wins. Moving on to the coins that we were looking at, which were larger in market cap and were more popular and more well known. As you can see, the first pick was from our side Aster. We entered right here, and as you can see, we were losing money during the whole 7 days almost. We barely made any money in the first few days, but it was just losing on from there. As you can see, even after the 7 day range, we are still looking at a loss, so we would have lost here anyway. So this trade was definitely a loss, but of course only 7 days have passed. I mean, I'm still bullish on Aster in the long run, so you can't be really judging it from this perspective alone, but this is how we agreed to do it. So Aster was the loss. Regarding Pepe, we actually made some decent money with it. Of course, it's billions in market cap, so the percentages that we made weren't huge, but as you can see, during the all-time high of the 7 day range, we actually had around nearly 10% made on the trade. And of course, if you're trading tokens like these with small capital, you wouldn't really be trading with leverage. So with leverage, this is definitely a great call and a great play. And lastly, we have Ethereum. As you can see, we are definitely in the profits right here. During the 7 day all-time high price range, we made nearly 6%. And as you can see, if we would have still held on to this trade right here, we have actually broke the top. Even then, we would be looking at nearly 10%. But of course, price after this white line is irrelevant since it's out of our 7 day range. But it's of course just to nudge our minds on what could have happened. In regards to what actually happened, if we would have closed our trade after these 7 days, we would only be looking at around a 2% profit. Of course, still not bad, only in 7 days. And with leverage, of course, this could very well be worth much more. So now that we're done looking at these charts, we definitely want to go ahead and see how much PNL we have actually made, and I have laid it out before your eyes right here. So for Ethereum, if we would have sold at the 7 day high, the purple line as we saw in the charts, we would have made nearly 10%. If we would have sold after the 7 day price range closed right at the red line, we would have made only 2%. For Pepe, we would have made 6% or 9%. So for Aster, we would have actually lost money, 7%. But if we would have sold at the all-time high of the 7 day price range, we would have made 6%. Same losing goes for Open Campus or Edu. We would have lost nearly 5%. But if we actually had sold at the all-time high of the 7 day price range, we would have made 17% nearly. For bullish, regardless of when we would have sold, we would have made money. If we would have sold at the red line after 7 days exactly, we would have made around 22%. And if we would have sold at the all-time high of the 7 day price range, we would have made around 60%. For George Plays Clash Royale, this is our biggest winner yet. Regardless of whether or when we would have sold, we would have made a lot of money. As you can see right here, if we would have sold at the 7 day close, we would have made over 100%. And if we would have sold at the 7 day high, we would have made nearly 200% on our investment. Now, if we're talking numbers right here, I have mapped out an investment simulation. If we would have invested $500 per coin into all of these 6 coins, we would have made a total of $700 if we would have sold them all at the 7 day price close range. And if we would have sold them all at the highs, we would have made over $1,400 in total. So in my opinion, this is insane money. And also one thing left to mention is, for example, on bullish, right? If we wouldn't have sold at the exact hour that we entered after 7 days, which is highly improbable, we would have made even more money with our investments, and perhaps we wouldn't have lost money on, for example, Open Campus, since we sold right before the pump, right? And same goes for Aster if we would have sold right for the pump, and same story goes for example Aster, since I'm very very sure that this is going to be recovering very, very soon. But with this being said, for you, this gives an actual idea of how this retarded strategy actually went. And I'm super surprised that it actually fucking worked. I mean, we have made $1,400. So this is insane. And we were listening to influencers on social media where majority of them is actually retarded. So this is definitely a big win. So this is definitely very interesting, but I highly wouldn't recommend you guys going through with the strategy because again, most of the influencers who you see on the internet are paid to shill their projects. But of course, from one side, they gain a lot of marketing, so the coin might pump. But on the other hand, the majority of times, the coins are complete shit coins. As you can see, our highest winner was George Blaze Clash Royale and Bullish. I mean, these, in my opinion, are pretty much shit coins. They serve no value, but of course, they make us money. So who the fuck cares, right? And again, 3 of the coins that we were investing in were multi-billion dollars to market cap, so we can't really expect a lot or big returns from them. But this is definitely still interesting how we saw positive returns at nearly 10% in 7 days. And nearly 10% in 7 days is definitely a lot. But again, the biggest winners were shitcoins, which have had the highest risk to reward ratio. They could have gone 50, 60, 70% down easily. So I definitely wouldn't recommend you guys trying to copy the strategy. But if you are following influencers, if you are following established and trusted influencers on YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, doesn't matter, and they make you money, I mean, sure, go ahead. But this is definitely not a financial advice that I would recommend somebody to go forward with. So with that being said, that's about it for the stupid experiment. Let me know what you guys think about someone down below in the comments. I personally would never do this again, but it's your choice. I want to see if the influencers could actually make us money, and seems like the answer is yes. So let me know what you think about someone down below in the comments. And as always, thank you for tuning in to our videos. Make sure to never copy shit like this ever.